Hi guys, welcome to another clip here from University of Victoria Wing Chun here in BC, Canada in associations with the Global Wing Chun Academy. My name is Reza, I'm one of the instructors at the club. This is Ray,
Hi.
my teacher. So we're just going to talk about Wing Chun a little bit. Whether you want to call it exposing Wing Chun, the good, the bad, what's right, what's wrong, all the critics and everything. So we just want to talk to you about ourselves, what we've done and what we really think Wing Chun is, and hopefully we can all promote the art and just give it a better name. So basically, what is Wing Chun? People have got different ideas, different mentality about what Wing Chun is. It's the simplicity, it's just the fighting art, quick hand skills, get the job done, and that's it. Basically, that's all Wing Chun is. It's got a lot of forward intention. It's less defensive. It's supposed to be more offensive for you guys. And it's no ballet. It's not a fucking dance, rules, sets, regulations, 20 degrees up, this, don't breathe, do this, do that. These are the stuff which has been changed over the decades by different, whatever, teachers or whatever you want to call them. Again, we want to emphasize, we're not trying to criticize any club or any teachers. They are all good. In all our videos, we've always supported everybody. We never like to criticize anybody by bringing somebody down in order to make ourselves look good. We're just going to try to talk about what we think is right about the Wing Chun. Ray is going to talk a little bit about his idea about what Wing Chun is, and then we're going to continue. It's going to be about a clip for 10 minutes, but please watch it till the end.
Well, I want to say that I've been doing this for about maybe 40, 50 years, and all our students before, they actually all came out of other martial arts. We had, for example, a master level Eskrima guy, part of our club. We had a guy who's #2 stick fighting champion in Germany. He was 10 years jiu-jitsu. He actually hung around with all the early people in Wing Chun who beat up everybody in Europe. Like, all our students were these kind of people. And for some reason they came and learned Wing Chun from us. And so if Wing Chun sucks, why do these people learn it from us? We have a jail guard. He's never used Wing Chun in the street, but he's used Wing Chun all the time in the jail in Vancouver, where they have the worst kind of mass murders, killers, and stuff like that. Sometimes they have a prison riot. This one guy alone, they send him in there, go fix these people. Like, that's the kind of people that were our students before. These days a little bit different. They're more beginner level, but I know from experience, the Wing Chun, in reality, it really does work. And in the future, I'd like to talk about all these people. You can talk about masters, but there's equal good stuff from all the actual students that we've had, even more impressive than the masters, I would say.
So the good thing about the Wing Chun, as we said, I've practiced Wing Chun for years of my life too. I've been here in Canada for about 21 years and I've been doing Wing Chun. The one thing which I've realized is, I'm from Iran. From East, it used to be a little bit more hardcore training, more touch. We never hold the punch in here for our training, do the blocks. We always were supposed to hit. We used to come home with bloody lips and everything. You move towards Europe, still got that hard intensity. I trained in England. That's first when I started under White Cloud Kung Fu Society. Later, Golden used to be the main instructor there. Extremely a good fighter, little guy. God bless his soul, he's gone, but very that hardcore English mentality. Not even once as a beginner we joined the club, we were supposed to hold the punch in here. It was a gentleman's agreement. We always touch. That's when you can learn how to do the proper blocks. Wing Chun's got a lot of good things. It's the best art in my view for a close range combat. Fight, if you guys want to think about it, is basically what, last 5 seconds? Yeah, the real fight. If you're a good fighter out in the streets, 3 to 5 seconds is over. All that stuff, sparring, stand up, we do this, we do that, and none of those guys are fighters. No street fight happens like that. Google it, watch the YouTube clips. You're never gonna see it's gonna go that long. It's usually over right away, and 90% of them starts off with a punch, it finishes on the ground. That's where Wing Chun, we've got a weakness. Whether you guys like it or not, we may come up with a whole bunch of ideas and excuses. We can do this, we can do that. Wing Chun core itself is a lot of good hand moves, quick hands and everything, part of our form, but the ground technique, not 100% is there. It's good to tweak it a little bit. The students, which we had in the past, whether they had what, judo background?
Yeah, actually we've had people who are part of a European gang. This one student, he fought for maybe 5 years. His gang was 200 people. They fought the skinheads, 300 people every single week. They're gang fighters. Here in Victoria, we taught 6 members of the police, including the head of the police. They said they've used Wing Chun all the time. Some of the police, they were Olympic quality judo level people. And so they have this MMA kind of stuff in their background, yet they still found the Wing Chun that we're teaching useful. So why is that?
It's just because it's a good stand-up fight for a close range. Again, you got to realize it's an element of surprise. You're talking, something happens, you just go right away.
Wing Chun's not bouncing around sparring.
I don't have time to put my guard up and do this.
There?
So that's a good thing about Wing Chun. We all know it. And don't be so anal about, lineage this, master man, they're all good. You don't start it from whom? From Yip Man. Even though Wing Chun was older, but he was the one who really brought it up. He's the main guy. He had a whole bunch of students, Wang Shang Lian, you name it.
He taught more than 50 people who were teachers of Wing Chun.
And it just changed over the years. And then you guys got to realize it again. No disrespect, it's becoming a corporate art these days. There's a lot of money involved, a lot of people making a shitload of money. And if you guys think we're doing this for money, you guys are wrong. You guys can go Google it. For University of Victoria, we charge $20 a month. We don't even get the money. We just do it because we love the art.
Well,
we want to teach the students.
We don't even cover our rent, actually.
Yes, but we've been doing it for years and years and years. Now, as far as knowing this, so we're not just bullshitting you guys, tell you, we did this, we know this, we've done this. We've held, some of it was during my time because I've been with Ray for 20 years, but before that, he's held many seminars here, even in Victoria.
Yeah, we've had people like Eamon Bastapi, we've had Choi Shan-ting, we've had Wang Shenliang, who mostly taught Bruce Lee. We've had Kenneth Chung. We have a lot of famous masters, and half of those people are all dead right now. And then Wang Shenliang, when he came here, he said how we're teaching is very close to how he taught. And he's not invincible either. I've seen him handle some of the local fighters who are really good boxers. He got rocked a few times because he underestimated the people. But once he understood that, he can get them. But they're infallible also. And then we had some lady students in the past. Now there's hardly any ladies who are actually very good. But we had one lady who actually gave her own seminars to 70 black belts in the US. She went to Japan, competed against Naginata people, went to Wing Chun club there, fought everybody there. And then Wang Shenliang, when he was here, he said her Wing Chun was very good, and he adopted her as his official student. So he thought our Wing Chun was okay. We know we're not the very top, but
we're doing our best.
We're doing our best.
And our main goal in here is we just train, practice for self-defense in our club. Because we get a lot of critics sometimes, politely though, on our YouTube clips that, this isn't gonna work in UFC, this is not gonna work in Octagon.
Yeah, we know that.
We're not teaching that. If you're gonna learn UFC, I'm gonna tell you Wing Chun shouldn't be your first choice. Doesn't have it all. The critics which we get, we already give enough critics to each other. The Wing Chun groups in here, we already put each other down a lot, and I think we should stop that because we've got enough enemies out there. A lot of different clubs, different backgrounds, they're always making fun of Wing Chun because of the bad representation. They go to a fight like this, 99% they get their fucking ass kicked. Watch the YouTube clip, every one of them goes like this. This is just a guideline.
Yeah, and our students in the past, they were actually all fighters, and then once they come and learn Wing Chun, they found it helps their other fighting, so.
That's all there is, so by just sticking to the old tradition is just a guideline. You get a driver's license, you gotta read the book, pass it. It's just a guideline. Does everybody drive the same? No, you gotta use your fucking brain after that. You gotta know what's out there for you. You can't just stick to the same sets of rules, so that's when the individuality comes out and you gotta see what feels right for you. And you guys gotta consider, every country, they train different. Then they start making fun of each other. What the common type of fights you see here in North America, box, boom, 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 boom. That's in their culture. That's what they do. That's why they love this sparring stuff like this. That's what happens in the streets. You go to Philippines, the first thing happens, the guy's gonna pull a knife, a machete. There's a lot of that Kali stuff in there. They've adapted to their system. I'm from Iran. You come to Iran, we're number one in wrestling. Google it. Kind of like what ice hockey is here in Canada to you guys. Iran wrestling, Russian wrestling, we're famous, okay? You talk back to an Iranian guy, before you know it, before a punch, he got you down on the ground like you won't even know it. So that's why a lot of our trainings are based for ground techniques too. So it's all adaptability, cultures, where you're from and everything, but once you can bring it all back together, it's a beautiful art.
Also in Iran, the bad elements, it's actually machete fighting culture.
We got a lot of them, Google
you know?
it. They just come in, so...
Try this against the
again,
machete.
you lose your arm, so
yes.
none of that stuff works. This is just a guideline and everything. And one of the hardest critics which we all have, everybody knows, Joe Rogan, famous guy from UFC. He's always put down, even though in one of his interviews with Downey Robert Jr., I believe, he said it's the number one most underrated martial art right now is Wing Chun, because it's a beautiful art. These are his exact words. It just got a bad representation. That's all there is. Man, if the art is that good, there's a couple of few guys in UFC, Ferguson, Alan Orr, who trains a lot of fighters too. They're the ones who tweaked it. They came out, and it can be adaptable, but you're gonna have to add a whole bunch of elements to it.
Well, and then on YouTube, they have these guys, they say, oh, this Wing Chun master got beat up. Like, nobody's ever heard of this guy. There's no Wing Chun master.
No.
And especially he goes fighting like this.
Yes.
What's that?
No, nobody does
fights like
that. Nobody, if anybody tells you this, that ain't gonna work for you guys, okay?
Yeah.
Never gonna work. Me, not as much. Him, a whole lot more. He's been in the room with some of the worldwide famous masters.
Very famous people. Actually,
you don't want to say their name.
No. And they got taken down by jiu-jitsu kind of people who compete all the time in Hawaii. I've seen like 2 cases like that, like well-known, reputable masters. They got taken down. At the same time, the jiu-jitsu kind of people, they were also impressed with their skills, but the 2 things are just different. One doesn't apply on the ground, and jiu-jitsu people are also vulnerable. You know, if the fight was in Wing Chun terms it's like here. Like we fight here, we don't bounce around and go like this, we don't go like this, that's not Wing Chun.
It is not.
It's natural too. If he's fighting me, like I don't have to have no pose, you just go. Just kill the guy.
Forward intention.
Yeah.
Closest distance, you just gotta close the gap.
Yeah.
You guys watch the videos of a lot of the clubs. Again, they're good training skills. I'm not putting anybody
for
down.
sure.
Everybody, 99% usually tons of, we're always attacking from outside, always here. Because Wing Chun teaches us to go straight punch. We always train Wing Chun against Wing Chun. The only damn bad thing is you go in a fight, watch it. I've been in a lot of fights in my life. You usually end up here. So we only emphasize for the outside lap and shit like this. Come out of that. We see how the punches are thrown at you, unorthodox punches coming in. So
for beginners, you start this way because Wing Chun's actually kind of a mathematical system. This is just this, talking about the 4 quadrants and minimal motion and all that stuff, and beginners have to learn like that. But once you're past beginner stage, you can't do this anymore. Like real fighters are more fluid, more organic. You know, they're not rigid, structured.
None of this.
That doesn't work.
That's Hip Man movie. It looks good.
Yeah.
They come in, but if you ever go to a fight, I've seen a guy like this one time. He held like that. It was a friend slash instructor years ago, not here in Canada. He had his hand like this. This other guy, as soon as, believe it or not, he just came, grabbed his fingers, just cracked 2 of his knuckles right there, right away. Because
actually, when I first learned Wing Chun, I went to my home-style club and said, okay, I just started learning some Wing Chun, and the Wing Chun people go like this. He said, that's great. In less than a split second,
so
like that.
It's just a guideline. They used to tell us this is the seeking hand, this is a defending hand for training purposes. This one fucks up, you got something else.
Yeah.
Don't have to go like this, you can still be like this. Really, same concept. And this is neutral. I'm not inviting the guy to fight me, okay? Bad things about Wing Chun. Does it have ground?
No.
No. Anybody tells you it does, it's BS. We've got a lot of forms which we can change it. Even in my videos, I've got some ground techniques and I tell you, look, Wing Chun's got it. Wing Chun's got it if you tweak it a little bit, but it was not designed for the ground technique. And that's why, if you guys want to learn, or you always write down, oh, this shit ain't gonna work in octagon and all that stuff, man, of course it's not going to. Because if you don't have those skills, you go to a closed environment, which is a ready, set environment. I'm talking about a UFC. We know we're gonna fight each other. You don't have ground, you're gonna go down less than a minute if they've got good ground techniques. You give me two students, I guarantee you. One has got good experienced wrestler, one good experienced stand-up boxer. Give me 1 year, let me train both of them. At the end of the year, I can guarantee you, the wrestler guy, once he learns the boxing, he's gonna kill the other guy. I'm talking this as an experience because I used to be wrestling in my life. One punch I can take, two punch I can take. I am gonna come get you finally, but once you're done on the ground, we even had this argue with some of our own instructors in our club. So we're not pick-pointing for anybody else. Oh, Wing Chun's got this, and the nice gentleman came to my house, we started training. I took him down, he's down, I'm on top of him, trying to elbow. He's sitting down there doing a chain punch, like, that shit don't work. It does not work. And a lot of the styles, they go in, you block, they go chain punch. The more chain punch you do, less power is got.
Actually, one or two of the best people I've met in Wing Chun, they actually never use the chain punch. Because your brain, if I'm gonna chain punch him 5 times, my brain is actually stuck in a loop for 5 times. I wanna finish those 5 punches, and in the meantime, lots of stuff could happen to me. Boom, see?
So, it's just a drill. But the first 1 or 2 is good. Once he's done, then finish the guy. But
we had one student, actually, he had 7 months of Wing Chun for us, and then he said he wanted to go compete in the Vancouver tournaments. So he said, what level should I fight at? I said, you might as well get beat by black belts than get beat by a white belt. So he actually entered the black belt competition. He beat 4 black belts. This worked okay actually in the tournaments for him, but then black belt number 5 was looking at that, figured out his weakness, and wham, that was it. So it does have its place, but it has its limitations too. If you're too focused on this, it's got a problem. Don't do that.
So that's the weakness, that's the bad thing about Wing Chun, it's the ground. Come out of it. Let's support each other instead of bringing each other down. Like this lineage, this master is good. They're all good. Everybody changed it. One gentleman sent me a text one time or something, or reply about, oh, my style is an individual style and Wing Chun is a corporate art. Well, next time, sir, once you guys get your ass whooped in the street, you better text that corporate or something to come help you. Wing Chun is actually a single style. It's not a team art. It's a single individual art. We might be part of the corporation in order to learn the art. After that, it's you. If you want to stick to those sets and rules, we had one master coming in from China. Remember the one who said it's beginning to look like ballet here in Canada?
Oh, yes.
Who was it?
No, it's actually my teacher's teacher, Wang Q. He was a private. I had many Chinese teachers. But one of them was Wang Q. He was a Yip Man private student. He's well known by the older generation of Wing Chun. And he said in his time, he's noticed Wing Chun changes a lot, it's hardly even recognizable. He says he wouldn't be surprised in the future if Wing Chun is some kind of a ballet.
But that's all there is. A lot of clubs you go, here, 30 degrees, a little bit more.
Oh yeah, this is wrong, it has to be like this. There.
It was never designed like that. When we started, my teacher, before Ray, used to come to the class, used to show one technique, no explanations. Do it, beginners, advanced, all mixed together. We kept on doing it. I got hit so many times till I finally figured out, oh, my elbow's gotta be here, my hand's gotta be like it. It was none of these talks. Today, everything is so much about talk. Too much time emphasizes on this.
Oh, the good thing about the Japanese culture is don't talk. Like Aikido. Should this be like this? Should it be this angle? Or should it be down here? Like there's thousands of possibilities. So their idea is just go do it. You'll figure it all out. But our Western mentality is, is this 30 degrees or should it be 20 degrees? It should be this thumb be a little bit in. Like that's all stupid.
That is stupid. So anyhow, this is just what it is. So Wing Chun is good. Wing Chun's got some bad stuff. We're not going to deny it 100% because of the bad representations. People go like this to get their ass whooped. People has got some ugly stuff which is not good at all.
My background actually when I was a kid, not as experienced as Reza, but was wrestling too. Now our modern students, I can still beat all of them up just with wrestling. I can beat them up with Wing Chun too. But I like wrestling actually, but
You gotta have it.
but now I'm 74, gives me more aches and pains, so I like to not wrestle much, even though mentally I love to do it.
You guys gotta, when I started Wing Chun, I was 13, I'm 56 now, in England. Oh, beautiful environment, I loved it. English people, man, good for you.
Yeah.
Fighting mentality, that's what I liked. When we went up there, we hit each other, my teacher was very good. Then I moved to the United States, I had some other teacher. Then I went back home, I served military. I went to military training and everything, combat and everything we trained, it was completely different. Then you're gonna realize a lot of this street for Wing Chun we do, it's not even compatible in military. It's completely different. I don't care who they tell you, these beautiful videos, they do all this, it's completely different because it's a matter of life or death. And I'm not going in there for military trying to put him out or knock him out. I'm going there to kill the guy. Him, finish it right away. So there's different sets of, you can bring it all together, it's useful. Then once I came here to Canada, I was looking for a good teacher. Because of my wrestling background, I tried different clubs. I don't want to say any name. Some of them, in less than a minute, I could bring the instructor down. None of them, they knew that I've done Wing Chun. When I first met him 20 years ago, the first thing after 1 minute, we responded, we're doing some training, I just said, heck of it. I'm just going to bring him down. That was 20 years ago. I went wrestling with him. He was good. I'm not saying his wrestling was better than me, even though he's my teacher. But he was extremely good and he surprised the shit out of me. That was the only reason I joined. That was it. And he actually helped me quite a bit because I used to be really hardcore, which is not good. You gotta be soft and hard together. And a lot of people, once they say soft, they stay, feel. You do this, the guy flies 20 feet. And those guys stop doing shit like this. It doesn't work. It's given a bad name.
Actually, all the famous masters, you know, it's good to learn one art really good instead of modern students. I want to learn 6 months MMA, 6 months boxing, 6 months Tai Chi, like that's a wrong approach. So you should have one solid thing and then go look around at different arts.
Anyhow, this was just a small talk.
Yep.
Till next time, you guys have fun. I mean, we just wanted to put it out there. We do Wing Chun, but we know it's got weakness, so there's no secret. And guys, let's support each other, please. Don't give bad critics just because you guys don't like something. It's just not good by bringing somebody else's done in order to promote your own art. Anyhow, keep training and we shall see you next week. Thanks.